Now, the other thing that you may want to look at, and I'll see if I can bring it up here, is this website, which is the search criteria of the amateur search for call signs. So, Bob, are you still with me? I guess Bob maybe went upstairs or something. What was his brother's call? V3SJ, did he say?
That's right, SJ.
Okay. So if I type in,
he said strawberry jam or something.
Okay, VE3 Sierra Juliet. Now, if I go and search that, we'll see who it comes back to. And it comes back to Robert Elston, V3SJ. So that's Bob. So that call sign is under his brother's. Now, he has that call sign, but if the license plate, V3SJ, hanging in his nephew's garage, is registered to his brother, and I don't know what his brother's name was, then the issue that Ted had to try and get the license plate and everything else, that becomes, you need to take the documentation and the thing saying, I'm this guy's brother, he's passed away, here's his obituary, blah, 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 and hopefully work through MTO and Service Ontario to get that corrected. So, but you can search anybody's call sign here, and let's see, V3FFQ. Was that the one I was looking at? So VE3FFQ, right? It showed it was available on the other website. This is a way to check it and see and do a search. And it comes back, no information available, which means it is available to subscribe to. Okay, and when you put your amateur application in, you can do that. Basically what happens, this is an excellent, if you wanted to search if so-and-so has an official license. So if I go to V3 AJB, hit the enter button, it comes out to some character called Alan Campbell Boyd at 27 Red Mill Road, Box 208, Little Current, Ontario. Individual type, and if I click on his call sign, what it does is it comes back and it gives me his qualifications as advanced, basic with Morse code. Okay,
Al,
so yes.
can we cut to the chase? Can I have your call sign?
Can you have my call sign? Yeah, yeah, sorry. So if I go to go here, and it's like whatever you decide. So if I go to V3 Echo Mike and hit enter, it comes back V3EM, Alan Campbell Boyd, 27 Red Mill Road, blah, 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 and click on that, and it comes back with the, so if you have basic with honors, if you have Morse code, you know, 28 years ago when I wrote my exam, they didn't have basic with honors. You got basic, and then you got your advanced, and then you had your Morse code qualification. So, which was at 15 words a minute back then. But
so just if we could interject for a second there. Just for anybody who's looking for a 2-letter call sign, if you search for a 2-letter call sign of somebody who's deceased within the first year, it will come back with no information. You won't get who it was or anything else. As soon as they know that they've deceased, they block all the information that's associated with it, and you don't find out anything. So if you're searching for call signs that may soon be available, that's how you do it.
But if the family hasn't notified the government, then that information will be there.
That is correct. So a good way to know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's how it's, and is it a problem? Absolutely, and this is why at RAC we're trying to change this and get this all updated, because our phones are off the hook of people, whatever it is, whether it's status, or we thank people like Igor that do contesting and say, if you want to be a real contester, you know, 2-letter call, because your CW is a lot quicker and your exchanges are a lot quicker, and that's what's happening. Contesting is becoming very, very popular. And that's why we have V3 Zulu Foxtrot. And I went for Victor Echo 3 Echo Mike in case I want to use that call sign. And I looked at that specifically because if you know Morse code, it can be sent pretty quick. Dit da da. So, you know, it can go very, very quickly in regards to that. So
In my
that's,
case, sending too quickly gives me a one-letter call.
It sounds like AT.
da da dit, yeah.
Could I get some clarification on the
No.
silent key? It's not available, is it? Some silent key, like we talk about 1 year, but like if you take the TCA magazine, they list those dates. Is that an accurate date of 1 year, like from that date? Is it the date, the deceased day that they passed away, or is it when it was they were registered or notified, like I said, or whoever was notified?
It's their date of death.
Date of death, and it's 1 year, becomes available after. And that was interesting, Ken, you said about the information as a way of searching. And I just wanted to add one more thing. I dug this up. I don't know if you could see it or not. It's a license plate holder, and it was a rack. Boy, that's tricky there. Rack.
You could 3D print one of those. I don't know how Rack would feel about that.
Well, I don't think the issue with this would be on my car, but it doesn't fit anymore. They've changed license plates, or provinces have different size plates. I don't know, but it doesn't actually fit the plate, which is strange. Okay.
Well, we're looking into that, and there is some copyright law. I don't think everybody would attack you if you put the Rack logo on it. I mean, you can go online and put Rack logos on just about anything, but it's that copyright issue, right? And if we're selling
tattoo on my forehead, so
yeah, like if you were doing it for your personal, there's probably no issue at all. If you were doing it as a commercial entity selling those without Rack's authority, then there'd probably be some issues with it. But
Just make sure it doesn't have ROC on it.
yeah,
ROC. It has. We're all about amateur radio. We're all about
that's
amateur
our
radio.
new. That's our new logo. We're all about amateur radio. That's what we're talking about, and our new. If you go to Dayton this year, you will see our brand new display logo, a static display that'll be set up at our booth, and it's Radio Amateurs of Canada. We're all about amateur radio, and that in French too. So it's a very nice looking display, and we're trying to get our word out there and that with it. So anywho, okay, let me, any other questions about the amateur radio search? That's the websites that you go to, and go from there, and you can figure out that. Just to carry on, we'll just wrap up here. Club stations, call signs for club stations will be issued with 3-letter suffix only. Existing 2-letter club stations call signs will remain valid until the club disbands or the club sign is or the club call sign is released. Sponsor requirements. The application for a call sign intended to be used by an amateur radio club station must be made by the holder of an amateur radio operator certificate with the advanced qualifications. Okay, so if you're acting on behalf of your club and you're going to be the sponsor of a call sign for a repeater, then you have to be advanced, and that's one of the advantages of being an advanced, if it is an advantage. The application for the call sign intended to be used for an amateur radio automatic radio telephone communications repeater station. Okay, so we're talking about repeaters operating above 30 megahertz. Let's do your a bit of a amateur radio question on your exam. Where would you find repeaters, okay, operating above 30 megahertz? I
Are you
guess
talking about the
nobody's
frequencies?
aware of 6 meters, 2 meters, 440,
Yeah, no.
right? That's above 30 megahertz. Okay.
I thought it was a trick
What about,
question.
yeah, no tricks with me, guys. Come on.
Ah,
The applicant must be a holder of applicable Morse code qualification if the repeater is to transmit on frequencies below 30 megs. So where would you find a repeater below 30 megs?
Find that antenna at 29.53, is it?
10 meters, yeah.
29,600 and 1 meg below, or not 1 meg, but 100 kilohertz below. Yeah. So 29.6, 29,620, 29,640, 29,680, and then the inputs are 29,500, 520, 540, yeah. And that's where you find 10 meter repeaters. I don't know how many are in existence, but if you want to listen and use FM on 10 meters at those frequencies, if you hit a repeater, oh my God, with the way 10 meters is opening now, and you hit one of those repeaters, you'd be able to talk all over the place. It's amazing. I used to work a lot of those 10 meters.
Yeah, I remember in Cuba, 10 meters was open in the late 90s when I was in Cuba. And I remember being, hearing about at least five or six different repeater tones going off whenever I would unkey. So,
right. Call signs for special events. So let's say the club is going to do a special event, and we set up a station someplace, and we're going to do that. And I'm sure Igor will be able to talk about some of these special events or whatever, but just to show you what a special prefix assignment may be made to all amateurs in a geographical area for Canadian significant commemorative or non-commercial anniversaries or Canadian significant events. All right. Requests should be received at the Amateur Radio Service Center, so we call Amy up in Sault Ste. Marie, at least 60 days before the beginning of the proposed event to provide ample time to process the request and allow the center to inform the amateur community at least 30 days before the event. Special prefixes and call signs are listed in table 1 here. Definitions: a call sign prefix fall within one of the following categories. A, we can get it under a national banner. Special prefixes for all provinces and territories used by all Canadian amateurs not to exceed 2 months. So let's say it's a commemorative anniversary of something. As you know, all V3s can become CG3s. V7s are CG7s. If you have a VA3, you become a Charlie Foxtrot 3 instead of a Victor Alpha 3. And that was done for various different events, like let's say Canada was to hold a special event. The last one, I think the big one was the 150th anniversary. I think for a period of time, you could use, instead of Victor Echo 3, Charlie Golf 3. And it was perfectly legal to do contests, to call on HF around the world. Charlie Golf 3, Alpha Juliet Bravo. CQ, 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 Charlie Golf 3. And my God, you talk about pileups or people coming back because they're going to look, Charlie Golf 3, where the, I've never, it becomes a special event in relation to that. Again, you can do it for provincial or territorial areas, special prefix for applicable province territory used by the Canadian amateurs residing within one applicable province territory. So who knows, it may not be in our lifetime, but let's say the bridge at Little Current changes and they do a big, open heritage type of thing. We can apply for a special call sign, and that particular week or whatever that transposes, we could get an event and do a contest or do some type of special event with QSL cards and make a special call sign, CG3 RMI or something like that. All municipalities, CG there for organization, municipal or organizations can apply for it. Individuals or club stations, specific call signs using special prefix or suffix may be issued to specific stations, not to exceed 1 month. So maybe we could get CG3MI for Manitoulin Island, or CG3MARC, 4-letter suffix, you know, for Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club. Like there's different combinations that can be done and set up that way. And again, individuals or club stations, specific call signs to be issued for specific stations using existing prefix and numbers that way, not exceeding 1 month and not to exceed an event period. Requests for falling within categories 1 and 2. Special prefixes are involved with the accommodated if they meet the following. Anniversaries must be a minimum of 25th. So if a club is celebrating its 25th anniversary, well, we've already passed that, right? We never got a special call sign, but we could have for that year. Or any 25th increment. So when the Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club reaches its 50th year, and that would be when 2000 and, well, we started in 88, so 2038, 48. Anyway, I'll have to do the math, but anyway, we could apply there. They won't do you for, you know, every year anniversary. It just doesn't make sense. Special events must be of a historical or cultural nature, like I was saying, the change of the bridge or something like that, the swing bridge in Little Current. For example, the annual local corn roast would not qualify. However, neither would the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, nor the Calgary Stampede. However, the Calgary Olympics or the opening of the Confederation Bridge between PEI and New Brunswick would qualify. So, you know, like I said, we could apply for maybe the new bridge. Requests falling within category 3 for significant events or anniversaries not covered under categories 1 and 2. It gets kind of complicated, but you know, you can't do it for amateur radio operators' birthday. So let's say it's Al's birthday. Let's get a special call sign and celebrate that. No, it ain't gonna. And next week it's Tom's, or the next week it's Ted's or Doug's, or you know, Ted's or whatever. You know, can't do that. Where we go? Fees. Okay, this is always interesting. Money, right? Everybody listens when there's money. The radio authorization fee for assignment of a call sign or prefix in the amateur radio service is $60 for each occurrence of the following transactions. Changing an existing call sign, including changing a 2-letter call sign. So when I got my EM call sign, I had to pay $60 for it because I had an existing AJB. There is no charge if you're doing your first initial basic qualification. You get your first call sign. There is no fee for that. It's free, and you keep that for life. Issuing a call sign to a club or other organization, issuing an additional call sign to an individual, issuing a special event call sign for a special prefix. So any of those specialty things, like for instance, AJB was free, but EM cost me $60, RII cost $60, RQQ cost $60, and RXR cost $60, and RMI cost $60. Okay, so, and those are all registered under my name as sponsored for the Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club.
How many people remember when you had to pay every year?
Well, and that was the thing. We paid for a license to be able to operate the amateur bands, right? When they deregulated that in 2000, they did away with the yellow, if some of you remember the yellow licenses that we used to get under the Department of Communications, and that would allow amateur radio bands to Alan Boyd to be able to transmit in the amateur radio spectrum, right? That was my official license to be able to, and every, was it 5 years, Ken, or I
No,
can't
every
recall
year you
how.
had to pay.
Was it every year
something
or
around-
that we had to
Yeah,
pay?
I'm
a
pretty
certain
sure, yeah.
amount? Okay.
I still have them on the wall.
Yeah, I've got them behind my certificate. Yeah. And a lot of people said at that time, when you deregulated, there goes hell in the handbasket with amateur radio, because you're going to get every Tom, Dick, and Harry transmitting because of the CB. If you remember the old CB, you know, the XM call signs that you used to get for Citizens Band, right? And you had to pay for that. And then they deregulated and said, well, you don't need a license anymore. They didn't even give you, the government never gave you a certificate or a, you know, a proficiency thing. They just said, oh, you're a person, go ahead, play on the CB band. Well, yeah, we all know what happened there, right? So again, to issue a replacement call sign, so there's no fee for the following: to issue an initial call sign of the amateur radio certificate with basic qualification, to issue a replacement certificate due to loss or damage. So a lot of people will call me and they'll say, hey, Al, you wanted my number or whatever. I lost my certificate, even though you should have it hanging in your shack someplace. If you don't have your original certificate or your wallet one that you carry, how do I get a new one? I'm going across the border. I want people to know that if I get stopped or something, that I am a licensed amateur operator. You call the service center up in Sault Ste. Marie, talk to Amy, give her your name and everything. She'll type it up, print you out new ones, and she'll mail it to you. It doesn't cost a cent to do that. To issue a replacement call sign with a new prefix due to a change in address or a new province or territory, they will issue new ones free of charge. And to issue a certificate as a result of an additional qualification. So let's say you get your 5 word a minute or your 12 word a minute endorsement or your advanced, as some of you have you know, done with me, and took your advanced online course or online test. 2 or 3 weeks after we did the test, you got a letter or a certificate in the mail with your advanced attached to it, or your CW.
Is there still a 12 word per minute, Al?
Yeah.
Oh, it is, eh? Okay.
Yeah, I can administer that, and you get your, because what happens now is when you go on it, it'll say Morse code 5 words a minute, Morse code 12 words a minute. Okay. The older ones, like myself and anybody that took the old, it just says Morse code when you bring up
even though we had to
got
pass 10
15
words a minute,
yeah,
or
yeah.
18 or no, it was 15 words a minute,
15,
wasn't it? It was 10 and
yeah.
15. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the different special event prefixes. So there's different ones that you can do. So if we look at V3, we can get CG3, CK3, VX3, or XM3 for special events. And VC3 for V3. And this is the schedule here that you can get for it. So, like for instance, VY1, the Yukon, can get CII, CZI, XKI, and XOI.
I think those are ones, Al, but whatever.
Ones, are they? It could be ones, I guess. Oh, CI1, yeah, you're right. CZ1, CK1. My eyes aren't that great, so looking at the thing. So anyway, that's RIC 9, a little bit about call signs, and hopefully you're a little more educated on if we ever do apply as a club or an individual for a special call sign. This is falls under RIC 9. And the new one will be coming out shortly. We're hoping within the next month or two, there'll be a new RIC 9, and I'll review that with the changes that are with it. So, all right, well, let's open it up to the crew if anybody's got any questions or comments. Or
I would like
that
to
with it.
say concerning my experience regarding using special call sign.
Sure, go ahead, Igor, please.
First of all, this is a big pleasure to operate by special call sign. I took call sign X-ray Mike to Alpha. It was celebration of 400 years of the Quebec City. I traveled to the Orleans Island. This is near Quebec, and it was huge pileups. Like when you appears on the 20 meters and tell X-ray Mike to Alpha, Iota, Quebec Charlie, North America 127, I guess. It was horrible. So, and I would be recommend at least to try once in your life to such experience, because it will be new for operation for the first time, because this is very big interest from everybody. It can be like hunters for the prefixes, hunters for the islands, and this is definitely very big interest from everybody. And I remember one time when I operated XMA to X-ray Mike to Alpha, I was unable to operate on the one frequency, and I was transmitting listen 5 up because it was huge pileup from the Europe. Impossible to listen. So I would recommend to try. So this is not too difficult to search on the Google. What is the event can be in this year or next year, like years of Antarctic research. I know that people taking or another jubilee of a government of Canada, like 70 years of Queen Elizabeth. It was also special call sign. This is only you research on the internet with jubilee you can find, or what is the anniversary. It should be related to the 25 years. And I know a lot of the people taking such possibility. It should be municipal anniversary, provincial, or countries, or so. On the rec.ca, you can see one option how to see what is the examples. Let me show to you this possibility. I'll take possibility to share screen and rec.ca. And if you will go to the bottom side, you'll see call sign special events. And this is list of the, can you see it?
Yep, no
Yeah, it's all
problem.
good. Yeah.
Pardon me.
Okay, so you can see what is the events for the any possibility, like Grand Prix in Quebec. This is like special call Victor Echo 2 speed, or like Jubilee of the Queen, it's taken already, or 100 University of the Graham Bell, or 25 years of the Confederation Bridge, something. So this is a lot of the different events which can be taken. I don't know why it's 80 university. This is not related to the 25 years. However, it's possible. So if you have wish, definitely you will find it. This is only your research, and I know a lot of the people taking such call sign like Victor X-ray to X-ray, very easy to operate. So this is like an idea. Also regarding bridge in little current, I calculated already. 125 years will be on 2038. This is a little bit far from here. And also 50 years of the Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club also will be at 38. And it will be like great idea to take special call like Charlie Golf 3 Radio Mic India and to operate by different operators during 1 month for the bridge, 1 month for the Manitoulin Radio Club. This is big pleasure. And if you have this possibility, this is definitely better to do that. So this is my experience. Easy to take, easy to submit application, and after that enjoy by month of special call sign. And after that you have to sign a QSL card.
Yeah.
And go to the LOTW or something like that. But it's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great, Igor. So yeah, so there's, you know, I mean, just another aspect if you're not aware of call signs and things that can be done, but certainly when you're dealing with contests or commemorative events or that, it's really neat. And definitely I've heard them on the air, like, you know, the pileups, as Igor was saying, my God, you know, because everybody wants to get that special call sign. So, you know.
Some have this technique where they will take all calls that are zeros, all calls that are ones, twos, etc., and work through the pileup that way.
Yeah, definitely. So in the case of a huge pileup, definitely you have to zero. QRZ 0, 0 only. And after that, because honestly, time to time it was very difficult to operate X-ray mic to alpha, and finally I started to listen 5 up because impossible, like huge pile from the Europe. Incredible.
Sorry, guys, I've got to go. I'm going to go ahead and say 73.
Okay. Take
Okay,
care,
Rusty.
Rusty.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Take
We'll
care.
talk to you later.
See ya,
I-
Rusty.
Bye.
I see.
Rusty.